Hey friends, today we're going to make this really fun vintage rustic kitchen decor piece. I found this old metal cheese grater at a thrift store, and so we are going to make it look rusty and old. But before that, I got these little wooden rolling pins. They're so adorable, and I'm painting both of the end pieces just in black chalk paint by Folk Art. Just doing the black ends is all right now. Then I will set that aside and let those dry. And that little bit of black paint that's on my paper plate, we will still use that. So I'm starting out with burnt umber, and I'm going to paint the entire thing burnt umber. And I'm just using a foam brush and kind of going up and down as I can, but it seems to go on the metal surface a little bit better if you kind of pounce it up and down. I'm just going to paint the whole entire thing. I left a little bit of the silver showing in a few spots. And so I dried that, and now I'm putting a second coat on, just pouncing it on. And I dip my brush in the black a little bit too. So I'm putting a little bit of few spots of black on there. And I'm getting it all wet again and covering it really well with the paint. And now I'm going to sprinkle cinnamon all over it, just randomly, but I'm getting almost the entire thing. And that will stick to the paint. So then I'm going to dry that really well. And now I'm getting that top part that I hadn't gotten yet, doing the same process with kind of pouncing the brown up and down, but getting a little bit of the black on there too. And now I'm doing the cinnamon on that as well. And I did have another color I was going to use. It's a rustic orange Folk Art paint, but I just got the look I was looking for, just with the brown and the black and the cinnamon. So now I'm just going over it again, just in a few random spots, and then I will sprinkle some more cinnamon and dry it. So you just keep going, doing this back and forth until you get the look you're looking for. And then you dry it, and then you pounce some more paint on where needed. So I got it the way I like it, and now I'm just putting a little bit of Mod Podge all over it just to keep it so the cinnamon doesn't flake off. Most of it's adhered well to the dried paint, but some might flake off, and I just wanted to put a little protective coating on this. And with all the little bumps of the cheese grater, it's kind of hard to do strokes, so I kind of have to go up and down, but we got it covered, and then as you know, that dries clear. And obviously it's up to you, but I suggest using the matte finish of the Mod Podge. I don't think the gloss would go with this style very much. And since I had some wet Mod Podge, there's a couple spots I thought could use a little bit more cinnamon. So there is our rusty cheese grater, and I love it. I think it turned out really cute. So now I'm going back to the rolling pin, and I'm just getting a little bit of Kills Dark sealing wax, just kind of staining both ends. And it was kind of hard to get those brush tips underneath the black handles. Got them as best as I could. But I just wanted the ends that are going to show to be a little more stained and worn looking. And I've got some red and white ticking fabric I got at Hobby Lobby, and I have a little piece that I actually coffee stained a while back. And that's what I'm going to cover my rolling pin with. So here's my fabric, so I'm just kind of holding it up against the rolling pin and seeing how wide I need to tear my strip. And I want the torn edges. So I'm just going to cut right there and then tear it. So now I'm just going to hot glue that end on. And then roll it around and just see how much I needed to overlap that end. Cut that off. And then I'm going to glue that last end that overlaps the first end. And I love it. I think it looks so cute. And I like the coffee stain material. Just looks old and weathered. And if you want more of the frayed edge, you just can keep pulling little strings out of the ends. And now I'm scratching up the black handles. Just distressing them and making them look worn and old. This is my desktop vacuum cleaner. I love this thing. It gets all the sawdust and paint particles and all that stuff. So here's a bunch of my printable paper tags. I have a huge listing in my Etsy shop that has 795 tags and all kinds of themes and holidays and seasons. There's something that for all year round. So I'm going to be using 2 of these. One says Cook with Love and the other one says Yum. And we will be using those. And then I have this little wooden spoon that I got last fall at Hobby Lobby. I think it was a package of 6 if I remember right. So I'm just putting the Kiehl's Dark Sealing Wax on that, and then I'll get a paper towel and wipe all the excess off. And I'm going to put that on top of the rolling pin. So now what I'm doing, I first decided where I wanted it to sit, the rolling pin. And I'm going down and then up those holes 2 times. And I will leave enough to put that rolling pin in at an angle. And then I cut enough and leave the tails long enough to tie. I wasn't sure if I was going to do a bow or just a little knot there, but that is going to help hold it on. And then I'm going to hot glue it as well. So I'm hot gluing it, and then I'll hold that there. Once that's dry and set, then I can tie that in a knot. I'm going to stick that spoon in and glue that to the rolling pin, to the fabric. Now I'm just pulling that twine really tight. And I couldn't decide if I wanted to do a bow or a knot or just what. I wanted to make sure that would stand right where it was at. So first I started tying a bow, and I could tell it wasn't going to lay the way I wanted it to. I thought it'd be easier just to tie it in a knot, cut the excess off, and then put a separate bow on top. So here I'm just tying a knot, and then I'll cut off those tails. Now I'm going to reinforce with more glue. Try not to make it show anywhere. I'm just kind of sticking it down in there where it won't show, both the top and the bottom of the rolling pin, and getting that twine glued on there too. And I just let that sit. So I'm just using my Kiehl's wax, just the little bit that was already on the brush, and darkening up those tags, kind of leaving the middle kind of white still, but mostly darkening them up. And I'm just going to use some regular Elmer's glue stick, and I'm going to glue that onto a piece of scrap chipboard that I have. Excuse me. And then I'm leaving about an 1/8 inch border around the tag. And I will cut those off. Again, leaving an 1/8 inch border all the way around. Then I'm going to distress them even more. I'm going to use my Tim Holtz Distress ink. Just go around all the edges and corners. Kind of like the stiffness of these tags, just putting them on chipboard. Something different. Usually I just keep them on cardstock and scrunch them up, and that's a nice look too. But this is just something different for me to do. I'm going to punch a little hole in those. So I'm just using one of the pieces of twine that I have sitting there, and I'm unraveling it. It's a 2-ply, and I just want the 1-ply. folding that in half, and I'll stick that loop in the hole of the tag and then bring those tails up. And this one, it's the smaller one, I'm going to hang from the rolling pin. So I'm going to glue that right on top of that spoon and twine. And then I'm grabbing that other little piece of 1-ply, making a cute little fuzzy bow. And I will glue that right on top. And it's looking really cute already. It would be cute to even leave it like that, but I love to embellish and I love to add bows, so we're gonna do more. So I've got these strips of fabric that I also coffee stained, and I'm beginning just tying one around and kind of leaving a knot at the top left corner. Excuse me, I've got a tickle in my throat. I'm just going to kind of glue that so it stays where I want it to. And now I'm going to use my mini bow dabber and put a piece of twine down the middle. And use some of that, both of those same fabrics. So I'm starting out with that kind of a cottony, cream colored, coffee stained. Going back and forth and leaving a loop on each side. Then I cut that little piece off and I hang that down on there as well. And now I'm just using that little piece. So these will be short little strips of this ticking fabric, but I make it work. I just kind of fold it in thirds, I guess you could say. So it has one loop, and I put that on, and then I do the same thing, put the loop on the other side. And I was gonna do the same thing with these other two strips. I decided to just put them down halfway and have the tails hanging down. And then I bring those twine ends up through that slot and tie it in a tight knot. And I finish tying it in a knot, and then I tie it in a bow and leave that right on top. And right here, I was thinking it needed more twine, and so I was wrapping around my fingers. And then I set this aside thinking I'll glue it on a little bit later, but I end up not using it, so I will have that twine later for another bow, for another project. So now I'm just gonna bring the tails down and hang them where I want them and fluff the loops and glue that right on top of that little knot on the top left. And some of the loops were kind of flattened out and I couldn't get my finger in there, so I just kind of grab the scissors and stick those to open up the loops of the fabric. And that's what I'm doing right there. Then I'll just trim the tails. I don't want them all the same length. I'm kind of funny that way. I like them all different lengths. There was quite a bit to trim up. And as you can see, it's looking really cute. And I thought, I'm going to get a little bit of gold for a little bit more color on this. And gold is pretty rustic and vintage looking in my opinion. So I've got these gold berries, kind of a vintage mustard color. So I'm just curling them around a pencil and I push them up together. And then I will cut that off and spread it out. And I think I got 4 pieces out of this long piece. And I'll just glue those randomly in places underneath the bow, kind of sticking out. And I know you can't really see what I'm doing right now, but I will definitely show you. I'm just kind of sticking it in spots, kind of holding up the tails and loops of the bow so I can get them under there just kind of sticking out from underneath. Kind of have to hold it a little bit till that glue sets and dries. And I think I used all, yeah, I did. I used all 4 of these curly berry twigs. And once the glue is dry and set, you can pull them out more or push them back into the curls more, whatever you think it needs. So now I've got these little wooden heart buttons, so I'm going to use one of those. And I just keep needle and thread at my craft area here. First I'm going to sand up that heart, make it look vintage like the rest of the project. Then I'm going to go down and then up through the other hole, and I'm going to tie a teeny tiny little bow on top of that button. I just like to thread my buttons usually. Just kind of looks a little bit more finished. And since this thread is so white and none of the rest of my project is, after I get that little bow tied and the tails trimmed, I just kind of daub my, the dauber of my Tim Holtz Distress ink on it and just kind of darken it up a little bit. Now I'm using one of those other little pieces of twine and unraveling it again just to get a short and a thin piece. And I'm threading that tag. And I'm going to hang that from the center of the bow. This is the one that says Cook with Love. And then I'm going to stick that button right on the top there. And that is it. I am so in love with this project. I think it turned out so cute. It's just my style. I hope it's yours too. I hope this inspires you to make something similar. Really appreciate you watching, and you have a whimsical day.